Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Jake Gordon and Alex Lord. Last night, Thursday night football, the Lions traveled to Green Bay in a spread that was basically a pick'em, but the Lions did. It was basically a carbon copy of what they did to the Atlanta Falcons. And I think we all just didn't give this Lions defensive line a lot of credit because not only did they shut down the running game, they were once again pressuring Jordan Love early and often. Aiden Hutchinson is one of the best pass rushers in all of football already, an absolute stud. They were getting after it. I mean, the Lions, not only is their offense good, we knew that. This defense, we underestimated. I think that has become clear over the last 2 weeks. And I think Falcons fans should definitely take some solace in the fact that, they got their butts whipped by a really good team. They ran into a buzzsaw that's playing good football, and that defense is a lot better than we thought. And the Falcons definitely still have some things to figure out. But it is not, the sky isn't falling just yet.
Yeah, we're talking about a team that beat the Chiefs week one. I mean, how soon we forget? Like, the Lions are like an ascending team. They were a team that came in with a lot of hype in the preseason, and usually if you're the Detroit Lions, that spells a lot of problems for you. But they've actually lived up to it this year. We had the conversation on the show. Jared Goff is like a good quarterback. We're past this. I think they drafted well. They're getting a lot of contributions out of the rookies. Jack Campbell had a huge game against the Falcons. Brian Branch had a huge game against the Falcons. Jahmyr Gibbs had a huge game against the Falcons. Like, the draft picks are hitting. They're really coming together. They weren't exactly healthy when they played the Falcons either. So, we've seen them get a little bit healthier this week. Credit the Packers for it too. But, somebody like Amon-Ra St. Brown being 100% is massive for them.
Yeah. And don't forget John Kaminsky and Charles Harris. Falcons. All of a sudden, playing worthwhile players in Detroit.
Actually.
Yeah, I think the Lions' offensive line and defensive line are two top 10 units. Ben Johnson is he's their offensive coordinator. He will eventually go and be a head coach. Whether that happens next year, I don't know. Aaron Glenn's their defensive coordinator. He's also, in line down the road to get some head coaching opportunities. They've just got a good staff, a good team over there, and I don't think enough people gave them credit. I think more people were dunking on the Falcons than we were giving the Lions credit. And we could call a spade a spade. The Falcons' offensive performance was pathetic. But let's not, forget the Falcons' defense held the Lions' offense in check for a while outside of a Richie Grant miscue. And then that final touchdown drive was really just the final nail in the coffin after they'd forced 3 or 4 3 and outs. And the Falcons' offense just gave the ball right back. Eventually, the Lions offense broke through. So I think that Falcons fans can take solace in this. You could point to the Packers come from behind victory and be like, well, maybe that didn't mean anything. Well, the Packers just had a comeback win over the Saints. So this is the NFL. Anybody can win on any given day. And if we're going to play this, aggregate of who beat who and how bad they beat them, you're going to feel pretty good if you're sitting where the Falcons are sitting. I think the Lions are just a damn good football team. It's that simple.
Yeah, I mean, the simple fact is I think the Lions are a really good football team. They might be the class of the NFC. I don't even think that. I mean, at least to this point, if the Lions were playing the Eagles tomorrow, I might take the Lions.
The 49ers.
The Niners look fantastic. But what I'm saying is they look like an upper echelon team, not just an up-and-coming team. They look like a team that can actually compete and maybe go to a Super Bowl if the cards fall correctly for them. I think, and the fact of the matter is the Falcons, they had this game really within arm's reach the entire time because their defense was absolutely fantastic. I mean, if their offense just does anything, I mean, this is a one-score game. If Younghoe Koo makes that field goal, it's a one-score game for basically 4 quarters until basically the Falcons defense runs out of gas. So, and it's on the road. It was the first road test. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can look at and you'd be like, but the one thing, Alex, you mentioned it, you got to feel really good about this Falcons defense. And they're going to have a good test this week against Jacksonville going across the pond. We're going to get another idea of just how good this unit is. But I feel super, super good about that unit just as a whole.
I do too, but you have to also take into account this also makes the Packers win look a little bit worse because Jordan Love looked pretty terrible last night. The Packers had 1 yard of offense halfway through the game. It was rough.
But in that same breath, nobody's saying the Saints defense is bad. Everybody, in fact, it's the opposite. Everybody thinks the Saints defense is good. And Jordan Love led a very impressive comeback just last week, a double-digit come from behind win. So, in that same vein, yes, the Packers come from behind win the Falcons had looks a little less impressive now that they just got stomped by the Lions. But then who are the Saints?
Now, also, in that same breath, I also want to say, because I think a lot of people get this confused, the NFL is not the same as college football. The margins on the talent on these teams is razor thin. Like the worst team in the league is a lot closer to the best team in the league than like the 15th best team in college football is to the number 1 ranked team in college football.
Yeah.
Like the gap is just so much bigger. So it's a little disingenuous to play the transitive property game.
Yes,
but I will say what I did take away from last night is that the Lions are like an actual, like they're not a joke anymore. So
I just don't feel bad about getting my butts kicked by that team, especially where we like the expectations for this Falcons team. And I know we have the realistic ones, which is 9-10 wins, try to get in the playoffs, get our butts kicked because that's what's going to happen. Yes. But if the Lions are looking like that, like they are, which is like a real contender, that's pretty much what I expect to happen to the Falcons against real contenders most of the season. Like, yes, maybe we can beat one if the injuries go our way and we have a really good week and a good game plan and we play our best football. Yes, the margins are razor thin. Maybe we could upset one. But the reality of the situation against the top teams in the league this year, we're not going to have great chances, especially on the road, especially on the road.
You know who that is? It's the Giants from last year. It's literally the Giants from last year. Like you run the ball. Wink Martindale that has a fantastic defense. You know, Daniel Jones is a little bit more mobile than Desmond Ritter. He's better than Desmond Ritter, clearly.
He's way better than Desmond.
But the same formula.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, are you serious? We can do this. I mean,
but yeah, same formula to win games, pretty much. Try to ug it up, keep it close, and see if you can win it at the end.
Yeah, I think Chase had a good point that I did want to say last week that I didn't get to. We cut off. Yes, Chase made a good point. That expectations are very important. And Falcons fans, I don't know what your expectations are, and I know you're a fan, and you can fan however you want, but I'm going to tell you how it is. This is a 9-10 win team that if we're lucky, we get a home playoff game, that we're going to get our butts whipped in. That is the expectation you should have for this team this season.
You never know. Home playoff game.
That's the kind of stuff that's just like,
well, I mean, like, all right. So who we're playing? Let's play a little hypothetical here. We got time. We don't have that much stuff.
Well, it'll be, probably the top wild card seed, which could either be the Eagles or Cowboys, and we're getting stomped.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll get stomped there. Stomped there. But would it be the top? Well, I don't know.
Because we're going to be the bottom division winner.
No.
Let's just say. If we win the division, we'll be the bottom division winner, probably.
Okay.
So we'll play the top wild card.
Yeah, well, Eagles, Cowboys, we ain't winning that. Yep,
we're not.
It's a wrap. That was a good season. It was a good
season. But we'll have a home playoff game, and I'll be there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to watch us lose.
Never had a playoff game in the bins.
Yeah.
Georgia.
That's pathetic. Yeah.
True.
This is pathetic, guys. Coming up after the break, though, we're going to continue this Falcons talks. We're going to give our bold predictions for the Week 4 matchup across the pond.